Hi guys, and welcome back to the Sam2Podcast. It's been a while since we did one of these, but we have returned by not so popular demand, but we are back.
Yeah,
Sam, how are you? How have you been these last few weeks?
yeah, I've been good. I've been just living life, I suppose, keeping my head down. Started obviously still doing the cricket TikTok going well. Hit 500 followers on that.
See that very good.
Good start. Started grinding at work a little bit more as well. So I'm just going through the motions, I suppose. How about you?
Good start to 2026. It sounds like I am good. Yeah, I'm good. It's been since we last did one of these. I went to the darts. That was quite fun.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, me and my dad built a shed in the garden, so that
Oh
was quite
wow.
fun. I know it's quite productive. It was. I
Yeah.
felt quite good about myself afterwards.
Must.
He did like a lot of the heavy lifting, but like I was a crucial part of making it, and it's
Well,
not fallen down yet. So.
Well, yeah. Sometimes at work, I get allowed to be involved in stuff like that, and I've never felt more masculine than when I do.
Honestly, it's such a great feeling. It's like yes, I've completed something.
Man, make shit.
There's something so satisfying about like just nailing something into a bit of wood.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't describe. It's just.
No,
Yeah, just
I
such a
think
good feeling.
I think I and every man listening to this understand where you're coming from exactly.
Thank you very much. I'm sure my dad will be listening to this right now when it goes out, and he'll be chuckling to himself, thinking that I'm.
Is he a listener of the episodes?
What was that, sorry?
Is he a listener of the episodes? Does he tune in?
Yes, on his way back from work on a Thursday, he listens to our podcast.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I know. It's very good. Last week when we didn't do one, because I like forgot to tell him we weren't doing one, he was like, oh, I had to drive home in silence. I had to listen to the
No,
radio.
well,
I was like,
don't worry because we're back and
we're back, baby. Our one fan.
oh. Our one fan is going to be driving home from work with a smile on his face now.
He'll be loving it. He'll be loving it. Anyway,
Wow.
if anyone else is listening and is a fan, please do give us a follow on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube for the full episodes. We're on all the TikTok accounts. Sam2Cricket is popping off right now. As you said, over 500 followers now.
Hey,
Very
it's
impressive.
just a guy who loves helmets and a bunch of people who weirdly do as well. That's all it
So
is.
you are the helmet connoisseur, I think, is
Yeah.
what I christened you.
Yeah, and somebody else did it. You actually like got a little bit of a like. It's actually so nice. The last few days, I've been getting DMs like people were requesting helmets, and it's like yeah, and like one guy like apologized. Like, oh, I'm sure you're getting sick of it. It's like no, I love it.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
That's- You are officially TikTok's helmet connoisseur.
It's so weird because I was so like not confident about that idea, and then I just think about like all of my videos that have done well. I mean, there's a couple cricket bat ones that have done well, but that sort of gave me the idea. Like there was cricket bats, there was cricket pads, but like I was so close to not doing it. I thought this is too niche, but in the end, it's helped me have a pretty good start on that account, and yeah, I don't know, it's
crazy, isn't it? Really,
great.
It's a bit like is this the right fit? The videos I've planned for my darts one is kind of like they don't do as well as the ones I just do off the cuff. It's weird. My most successful video I did the other day about it's just literally about a new ref. There's a new ref in darts. He's been announced the other day.
Yeah.
And it's got like 60,000 views and like almost like 4,500 likes.
Oh
and
wow.
the guy himself out commented on it.
Yeah.
And it's like this, like it's crazy. I just did it like randomly. I saw it pop up on my phone. I was like, oh, I can make a video about that. And it took me like 2 minutes.
Well, I think
then...
those are the types of videos. Like obviously, I've tried a couple ones where I follow the trends, like you did one as well, where it's like the worst thing she can say is no, for example. That's a massive trend. Didn't do that well for me. There was also the trend where it was like 20 or like posting darts players or cricket players from your childhood and then now. I think the ones that do best for me are the sort of rather than trying to copy other people or even just ones where I'm talking about a game that happened. They don't do that well. It's just the random ones where it's like fully me. I don't know. Rather than trying to copy anything else.
Isn't it? It's like people will, you have an idea, you put it out there, and then someone will watch it and go, you know what, I've never thought of that. That's a really good point. And then that's what gets people interested. And then, yeah, like I said, you're now the helmet connoisseur. You wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't be that if you didn't post that first video.
Yeah, I just find it so weird. Why do people care about my opinion on cricket helmets? Like they I don't
It's
know.
obviously the right thing. That's what it must be. You must just be, as we discussed, you're a genius. So
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for the cricket season in England to start because I feel like if we've started this well with that account now, like when the season actually starts, there's going to be so many opportunities to, yeah, grind. And I'm going to be taking you to your first cricket match. That's going to be one of them. Trust me.
really like that. I would really, really like that.
Yeah.
Excellent. So do you want to start with cricket while we're on the subject? Because it's the World Cup
Oh yeah,
happening
may
right
as
now,
well.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
T20 World Cup
Give
started.
us the lowdown. Yeah.
Well, obviously this goes out on a Thursday, so there would have been some more games since we're recording this on a Monday. But yeah, obviously, so Australia are going to play in between this. No idea how they've done. I found it weird how Australia, they didn't play their first game until Wednesday, and pretty much everyone has played 2 games by that stage, which is slightly strange. Anyway, England, yesterday, the day of recording, survived a scare against Nepal. Very, very good effort from them. I think a lot of people were complaining about the T20 World Cup. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's every 2 years. I think a World Cup should be every 4 years. But along with that, there was the expansion of adding more teams, and everyone thought it's just going to be weaker teams. Everyone's going to get battered. But I think the start of this World Cup, we had the USA almost beating India, Nepal obviously very close to beating us. It shows that the smaller teams are here to play, and that is good. I think T20 cricket is the best format for that. If you play 50 over or Test cricket, then there's going to be a bigger gulf. But T20 cricket it's the easiest for smaller teams to compete in, and yeah, it's been an exciting start to the tournament, and hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned it just at the end there. So I think T20 cricket, that's probably its best selling point, is that they can have so many upsets because it's such a quick format. And I imagine it's similar with, I don't watch the 100, but I imagine the 100's quite similar because it's so quick and because it's so, yeah, like cutthroat. You can get some upsets, whereas Test cricket, it's rare if a team, if Nepal's Test team beat England, it would be a huge.
Well, Nepal don't even have a Test team, so.
Do they not?
No.
Oh, there you go. That'd be a big upset.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It is sort of like the weight of losing 3 quick wickets in a T20 game is so much bigger than it is in a Test match, for example. But yeah, so yeah, obviously it's going to be a lot of content covering the T20 World Cup over on the cricket account, so do check that out. Also, just want to talk about something that happened last week as well. The Under-19 World Cup final, India versus England. India coming out on top. Suryavanshi, the 14-year-old Indian player who's already got an IPL 140. I mean, it's just ridiculous, to be honest. 14 years of age, doing that sort of thing. People doubt his age. I think you always get this. People go like, "Oh, he's not 14." Like, okay, even if he isn't, okay, he's 16 doing this. Like, he's not much older than 14. Like, it's still mental. So yeah, honestly, running out of words for that, really. But I think at the end of the day, there's still positives for England. They had a good tournament getting to the final, and in the final, Caleb Faulkner getting 100 in the final. And I think the most promising thing about him is that he's South African, and England seem to do best when we have a South African on our team. And I had to check. I was like, hang on, does he have an accent? Does he have an accent? I had to check, and I found an interview, and I can confirm he does in fact have a South African accent, which means he's going to be a mainstay in the England team for the next few years.
I was going to ask, because I don't know much about the Under-19 World Cup, the England team at all. Do any of them have a real shot at being like in the senior team soon?
Oh yeah. The captain Thomas Rue. I mean, his elder brother James as well is knocking on the door for the Test team, especially. Both of them are unbelievably talented cricketers. Thomas Rue scoring quite a few runs. Ben Mays had a very good tournament as well, top run scorer. He got a massive score against Scotland in the competition, and although he didn't get a score really in the final, he looked very good. He looked very Harry Brook-esque in terms of his technique, I think. But yeah, so there's Thomas Rue, Ben Mays, Caleb Faulkner we just mentioned. He's an all-rounder, although he only actually bowled once. I think he's maybe had some injury issues for that during the Under-19 World Cup. But I mean, his innings, the way he played, some of the shots he was playing in the final, unbelievable. Looks really good in the field as well, so he's definitely got a shot. And out of the bowlers, I think there's this kid called Manny Lumsden, looks unbelievable, bowling sort of 87 mile an hour at age 17 is quite ridiculous. But yeah, I think he's got a real shot. I think he was leading wicket taker in the tournament, or he was definitely up there. And I think the England team, the reason why it worked and we got to a final was a lot of them. I criticised the 100 a lot. I'm not a massive fan of it, if I'm honest. I think it's completely almost killed the 50 over competition. But then the one caveat to that is, well, because it sort of happens at the same time as the 50 over competition or a similar time, the counties are playing their youth players, they're playing the younger players, and then they're getting a shot in men's cricket. And then if they're doing well, then they may be handed their first class debut from that. And then it just gives more of a pathway into the counties for these young players. So that's the one sort of positive of it. And I think that's why it worked for England in this tournament, because a lot of them have played List A cricket at the least, or some of them first class cricket. So yeah, it's good in that sense.
Very good. There's always positives to take from it. Always positives.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Good cricket. I do time with cricket. It's nice. Yeah, it's a different angle. I like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like I was just me rambling on for like 10 minutes, but
That's good. I enjoyed it. I'm an avid fan of the Sam2 cricket account.
Oh wow, thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. Have you appreciated the videos of the last few days where I've been at work, I've been in a greenhouse doing them from a greenhouse. Nothing can stop me from making my TikToks. Right now I'm just waiting. There's going to be a day when somebody walks in on me in the greenhouse doing the TikTok. It's like, What are you doing? Nothing. Helmets? Talk about helmets? Doing helmets? Anyway, yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about for cricket. So that leads me on to something else actually, and what's that? Tottenham Hotspur. What a crazy little club that is. Am I right?
I think that's generous. Where do I start this time? How long's it been since we talked about Spurs? So we started a game on Saturday. We lost to Man United.
Oh, did you? Didn't notice.
Yeah, thanks, mate. We lost 2-0 to Man United. Christian Romero got another red card, his 6th for Tottenham Hotspur since he joined. His 2nd this season. And that led Thomas Frank, in his interview afterwards, said that he didn't think Romero had many red cards. He was like, oh yeah, he's been sent off, but he's not got that many. And the reporter...
It's not like he's got a track record.
He's got the most in the league since he joined.
Yeah.
Out of anyone. And Thomas Frank was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Sorry. It's like, how dumb can a one man be? Yeah, we lost 2-0. As Thomas Frank said as well, he said we were doing quite well until he got sent off. So, we'll take those points. That's good.
Yeah.
We are now 15th in the Premier League, 6 points ahead of West Ham, who are in the relegation zone. We have, I think it's 13 fit senior players now. Yeah, feeling good. Looking good.
But at least you got a lovely stadium though, mate.
Oh, and the training ground. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's so good. I've seen lots of Spurs fans have said we are in a relegation battle, and everyone else has gone like, nah, you're fine. You're Tottenham. You'll be all right. You won't go down. I'm genuinely terrified.
Yeah.
I get where people are coming from. Obviously, Tottenham are like the biggest club out of those in the bottom. But if you replace the name Tottenham with Brentford, Sunderland, Crystal Palace, and put them in 15th, you'd be like, yeah, they're in a relegation battle. So why aren't Tottenham?
Yeah, I think obviously, yeah, as you say, like, I completely understand where the fear is coming from, because I told you this yesterday when it was 22-23, we ended up finishing 12th.
Yeah.
It was like every game felt like we were going to lose, and at a stage it felt like we weren't officially safe from relegation until like March or April, something stupid like that, or maybe it was really late on in the season where we were officially safe. And it was like I was genuinely like, there was a part of me that was scared. So obviously I understand both sides of it, because right now I'm probably in denial phase of like, I'd obviously find it quite funny if Tottenham got relegated, but I'm sort of like, you're Tottenham Hotspur, surely you're going to be able to pick up the odd point where the likes of West Ham can't. Although that being said, West Ham did what you couldn't and win at Burnley. Um, but yeah, so it's sort of just like, I don't know. I think a lot of the rival fans of Tottenham are not really believing it yet because it's almost too funny to believe.
Yeah, it's almost too unbelievable to believe for everyone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you said to me yesterday, it's like you don't watch Tottenham every week, so you don't know quite how bad it is, but it's really bad. I get obviously the results are not good, but it's the performances that worry me more
Mm.
because I actually remember um, when we beat Everton 3-0 at the Hill Dickey earlier on this season. I was watching it with you and
Yeah.
and we won 3-0 and we went third after that game. And I was like down, I was like a bit like that was still a really bad performance. And Ewan was like, "You're third. What are you complaining about?" We saw it coming. Spurs fans have seen this coming. Like it's not
Mm.
even when we were getting the results, the performances were terrible. And it is now those bad performances are not being masked by good results. So it is just awful all round. And I think there's such a disconnect between the fans and the club, and then also seemingly the players and the club. Like Christian Romero, obviously, is very outspoken about the board in the last week. Um,
Mm.
criticized the owners, criticized Thomas Frank, not directly, but we all know what he meant. And then Thomas Frank said in his interview before the Man United game that he doesn't really care if the players don't like him. And I thought,
What a silly thing
what
to say.
what are you on about? He was like, yeah, he was like, he's like, I understand that, some of the guys probably don't think I'm the best person. Why don't they, mate? You're their boss. What are you what are you doing? Like you are in charge of these people. And I think, and then quick caveat to that, I watched the Pochettino podcast with it was on High Performance Podcast with Jake Humphries that
Mm.
Pochettino went on,
Yeah.
and he spoke a lot about how he doesn't like he thinks the most important thing about being the manager of a team is like being connected to those people. It's not tactics. It's not being he said, I'm not a genius. I'm a good man manager. I will get to know my people. I will get to know my players. I'll make them feel comfortable. And that is so much. Thomas Frank obviously isn't doing that.
Mm.
It's he people can question his tactics and whatever they want to do, and how he doesn't pick the right players. He pays people in the wrong positions. He makes substitutions at the wrong time. But if he's saying he doesn't care if his players don't like him, that's not striking confidence to me. Pochettino's Spurs teams. I know they didn't win anything. Obviously, very well documented. They didn't win anything, but the vibes were always that high. The players were always confident because they obviously had a great connection with Pochettino. Um, and I'm not saying I want Pochettino back. I'd love it, but I'm not sure he will come back. But we just need someone like that who can galvanise the players, get them believing again. Because Ange Postecoglou was like that. He got the players believing. Even when we were 17th in the league, he was like, "We're going to win the Europa League. We're going to do it." It's like there's no need to doubt yourself. You're going to do it. Whereas Thomas Frank, it seems as though he's like he's not pushing the players to believe in a way, which is making everything so much worse. The club is just a shambles as it has. I feel like I've said this many times on
Yeah.
this podcast. The club is just awful,
Yeah.
and it's not just the club, like as in like the team. It's the higher ups as well. So there's a game tomorrow, Tottenham Newcastle at the stadium, and it's been listed as a Category A match, and the going rate for tickets is £109
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
for a midweek game in the
Yeah.
Premier League between the team that are 15th and the team that are 12th.
Yeah. That was mental.
And I can't get my head like how like delusional do the board have to be to think that people are going to pay that kind of money?
Yeah.
It is. Oh, yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's for someone who's just said a lot. I'm a bit lost for words. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really know. I don't see it getting better. Yeah, we're also. I'm going to really rant. We can't even sack Thomas Frank now because like it's gone past the point of like that window has gone. We've got
Yeah.
so little players now that whoever's in there isn't going to do a good job because like I said, we've got 13 senior players fit and available. But I mean, it should be 14, but Romero's buggered off.
Yeah.
So like if you sack Thomas Frank now, I almost think that's harsh because he's not, he's got no people to work with that are experienced, that know what they're doing. So obviously I don't like him being the Tottenham manager, but I think he'll probably get to the end of the season whatever happens, because that window of opportunity to get in someone who could buy who they want in January, improve the squad, galvanise everyone, that window is gone. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty doom and gloom. I said to you yesterday, it's pretty doom and gloom, but there's a few positives, I guess. Like people who aren't injured are getting lots of game time because there's no other options. But people like Wilson Odebear's really come into his own recently. Xavi Simons is finally adapting. But it's still, I'm not thrilled. Tottenham are playing tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow, and Tottenham are playing on my birthday, and I'm not excited.
Yeah.
That's not good at all.
More scared than excited.
I haven't been excited for a Tottenham game in a long. I genuinely can't remember the last time I was excited. It might have been the North London derby, we ended up losing 4-1. So that was the last time I was excited before a game. It's not good.
Yeah, well, I think that going back to your point about Pochettino and saying about how sort of the man managing side of things is really important. I think one person that shows that is Liam Rosinha right now. You've seen there's lots of Cole Palmer's, obviously there's been a lot of rubbish in the news about him recently, about maybe he's unhappy. I mean, I didn't buy it for a second anyway. He's come out after his hat-trick against Wolves and said, working under Rosinha is amazing, saying stuff like that. And like, it seems, and there's that video of him, standing around the corner and Rosinha, like there's so much stuff where I think, although it was a good performance against Wolves, but it is Wolves. I'm still not convinced by everything I'm seeing on the pitch. But then, everything outside of that, I think we've already said before how well spoken he is. He seems to have a great, great way of managing his players. They all seem to like him, and it seems like a good lad. I think the hate on him is so unjustified. I think maybe if he wasn't English, I don't know. I think the big comparison for me is look at how Michael Carrick's being covered in the media and on social media, and then compare that to Liam Rosinha. These are both people who are unbeaten in the Premier League. Obviously, yes, we lost to Arsenal twice in the Cup, but they're both 4 from 4 in the Premier League. Michael Carrick's being treated like he's Jesus, whereas Liam Rosinha is a PE teacher to everyone, so it doesn't really make sense to me.
Very strong. I hadn't thought about that. It's a very good point. It probably goes back to the United bias that everyone has got. Everything at United is heightened, whether it's negative or positive. It's always more. But going what you said about Rosinha and Pochettino being good man managers. Poch on this podcast, he talked about his brief time at Chelsea. He talked about Cole Palmer, and he said something I thought was really interesting. He said the first few weeks he was there, Cole Palmer went into his office and said, look, I know you want me to be like the star, but I don't think I'm properly ready to give what you want me to give, if that makes sense. He was like, you want me to play in that 10, I don't think I'm properly ready. And Poch was just like, no, you're going to be my 10, mate. It's like, you are going to play. You're going to be amazing. Don't doubt yourself. This is, you can do it. Like, why doubt the ability you've got? He's like, I'm going to let you have the play however you want.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly, that's another thing which really sort of, obviously Cole Palmer, that first season under Poch, he was incredible. That's one of the best, considering he'd been a bench player at City before. That's his first proper season in senior football. I think that's one of the best first seasons ever in terms of just like it was unbelievable, and witnessing that was incredible. Especially the year before, we finished 12th. Moments during that season was quite dark. I know we ended up having a run and finishing 6th, but it looked like we were sort of going to be around the sort of similar position 2 years in a row. Out of nowhere, we signed Cole Palmer. It felt like 40 million on another young player. It felt like it wasn't going to be anything out of the ordinary. And then he's been unbelievable. And I think what you say about Poch giving him the freedom, that's one thing he said about Liam Rosinha. He said that he gives us freedom. That was sort of, although he started really well under Maresca still at the start of last season, it did feel like, I don't know, the whole squad had less freedom. It was everyone had exact roles, and it always felt like maybe him and Cole Palmer didn't click in that sense. Where obviously there were still great performances. We mentioned here at the start, like there was game against Brighton, for example, when he got 4 goals. Club World Cup final, obviously, but there were other times where, and obviously he's been managing his injuries as well this season. So yeah, I think there. I was very against Enzo Maresca leaving at the time, and I'm not gonna turn around and say like Liam Rossini is the one, but it's been a positive start in terms of everything off the pitch. And although I've not been convinced by what I've been seeing all the time on the pitch, you can't argue against the results. At the end of the day, in the Premier League, before he arrived, we won 1 in 8 or something like that, and now we're 4 from 4. So you can't complain about that.
Yeah, I do think it's important to be liked. As stupid as that sounds, I think it is. Like, obviously, Liam Rossini is a very like nice character. He comes across really, really well.
Mm.
It's the same. It's the same sort of feeling. Not that Maresca didn't, because I'm trying to compare it to Maresca. Maresca was just kind of like he kind of just like followed the process. I feel like he was just kind of like, right, we're gonna win. Like, let's do this. Work in training, do that, pass there, do that, shoot, score. Just very mechanical almost. Whereas Rossini is very much like he's willing to chat to the media. He's willing to laugh at himself, which I think is a very important
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
If
exactly. I
I was
think.
comparing it to sorry, go on.
Sorry. Yeah, I think he comes across better. I think one thing that we could say about Maresca is obviously maybe you don't appreciate that English isn't his first language, so maybe some of the stuff he's saying, I don't know. It's just Maresca seems a lot more of a serious character. I know he had his moments where I still liked him. Obviously, I'm not going to turn this around. Where a lot of people after Poch left and Maresca came in, the Chelsea consensus was at the time that, or in terms of the fans, we didn't want Poch to go. And then it's like after Maresca started well, the amount of hate from Chelsea fans on Poch was ridiculous. So I don't want to just, go around and start hating on Maresca because, anyway, Maresca did more than Poch did in terms of like he won us trophies. So I'm never going to hate on a manager that won us trophies. But yeah, I've actually forgot the original point I was making now, which is crazy.
I can't remember either. But yeah, I can't remember.
Something about Maresca.
Something about Maresca being serious, and like Rossini is, like I say, he doesn't take himself too seriously, which I think is a good quality to have. And I compare it to when Tottenham sacked Conte, because Conte was maybe it's an Italian thing. Conte was very much like, this is how we're going to play, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to succeed. Which, it's a good way of looking at it. Whereas Ange came in and was like, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have so much fun.
See, it's weird. It's weird with Conte because when he was like, I guess it was a bit like this in his second season at Chelsea as well. He always seemed very serious at Tottenham, but his first season at Chelsea, he was such vibes. It was unbelievable. Like he'd just be like,
yeah, that's the same at Tottenham. He came in after Nuno, in like November of that season, and like everyone was loving it. Conte ball was incredible, and then that second season where he was there for the whole time was completely different.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like we'd score a goal and he'd like run and jump into the crowd and he'd like charge down. He was so passionate, and then obviously obviously, we won the league. It was great. I love Antonio Conte. That was such that 16-17 season is one of my favorite Chelsea teams I've ever watched. Just the vibes of it. I absolutely loved Diego Costa. That season, him, Hazard. You had Victor Moses right wing back. It was honestly that season. It's one of the seasons I look back on with the most. Like, it's one of my favorite seasons in terms of the whole season. It probably is my favorite season. Obviously, winning the Champions League in 2021 was, that night. That's my best sporting memory that night.
Yeah.
But in terms of the whole season, there were times in that season where we were like 9th in the Premier League and we sacked Frank Lampard. Obviously, I don't know, but yeah, that whole season under Conte, that first one was just unbelievable.
He does tend to do that, doesn't he? His first season, Conte is something. If you've experienced first season content at your club, then you know exactly what it is. It's incredible. And then the longer
Yeah.
he stays, the worse he gets, and the more angry he
The
gets.
more, the more people he falls out of. It is weird how, if you look at his domestic record in terms of, obviously, I know you didn't experience any domestic success under him, but his domestic record is unbelievable. The amount of league titles he's won, ridiculous. But then his record in Europe is like, his best Champions League result is getting to a quarter final, and that's something like 12 years ago or something stupid like that. So yesterday, obviously, it was City versus Liverpool. Oh, it wasn't even yesterday, but yesterday at the time of recording. And there was some VAR controversy at the end of the game. It wouldn't be a Premier League game without some VAR controversy. What was your take on it?
I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I think it marred what was a really good football match. I think Liverpool City, like that fixture at Anfield, Liverpool City is probably my favourite fixture of the entire year. Like it is
Oh, it's
just
unbelievable.
it's always amazing. And yes, the first half was pretty poor yesterday, but the second half was amazing. It was a
was
great
incredible,
game.
yeah.
You know, the Szoboszlai free kick was just out of this world.
Yeah.
And then to be fair, the first City goal, the movement from Bernardo Silva is brilliant. The flick on from Haaland is brilliant. And then the penalty that Haaland tucked away very nicely, because his penalty record isn't the best. That was a very good penalty. And the fact that it's all been overshadowed really by a quite baffling VAR decision. I get letter of the law. Yeah, he's pulled him back. Red card, denial of a goal scoring opportunity. But no one was happy. All 22 players on the pitch were complaining to Craig Pawson, the ref, at the end.
Well, exactly, because it's like, for me, I know this isn't technically the letter of the law, but my interpretation was they fouled each other, just let it go. And both teams, now Liverpool would have rather that have been a goal, because now they're without Szoboszlai in the next game. And it just felt like it just completely killed a quite nice moment. Both teams were just happy for the game to end 3-1. It doesn't change the result, I know, but still it feels just ridiculous. It's just sucking the life out of football.
That's exactly what it is. It like I said, ruined a great moment, and it didn't ruin a game because it was a good game, but it ruined the ending to that game, which was really, really good. But VAR just keeps. I don't know why it's so bad. I can't really figure out why VAR is as bad as it is, because the Six Nations started this weekend.
Yeah.
And TMO is brilliant. It is so good. It's used so well. There's hardly ever any controversy.
Yeah.
I don't get why VAR can't be like that. I don't know why there's so many like restrictions on it. Like like VAR, they can't second yellow, and they can't check like certain things. Like, but why? Why can't you check certain things? Why can't you just check everything? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's remarkable how long VAR has been in the sport now, and we're still having so many issues. Like, as long as, like, for rugby, as you mentioned, TMO has been a thing for ages now, and it's just always been brilliant. And even VAR in other footballing competitions, it's just so much better than it is in the Premier League, and it makes no sense. There's just a serious refereeing problem in this country.
The standard of refereeing is like genuinely terrible. Like, it's not even. Like, I know everyone criticizes refs in this country, but there's a reason for it. It is so bad.
That's why. Like,
I don't understand why.
Yeah, well, like when my mum's watching football or something, like sometimes players will be shouting at the refs, and they'll be like, just the public opinion, like, oh, it's not nice, they're abusing the refs. It's like, well, sometimes they deserve it, because sometimes they're reffing. Like, there was one decision in the Wolves Chelsea game. Oh my god, absolutely baffling. We were on a counter attack, 3-on-2. We're in a very, very good position. Angel Gomez or Angel, I don't know what his name is, one of the two. He's on Gomez. Yeah, that helps with Wolves, seeing as there's about 5 of them. He's on the floor, non-head injury. He's got cramp, and the referee stops the game. We're on a 3-on-2 counter attack. He's fallen on the floor with cramp, and the ref, not even holding his head, the ref stopped the game. Absolute joke. My head was on Mars, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's not even like, it's not like there's like 2 or 3 refs that always make the same mistakes and that you can like single them out. All of them are terrible. Like, it's not. But is that if they're all terrible, is that what they're being like? Is it the PGMOL telling them like is the rules for refereeing just rubbish? Does that mean the rules of football are terrible? Because the refs usually make the right decision based on the letter of the law, but the letter of the
Mm,
law is
yeah.
really bad.
So, well,
If
some
that
of the
makes
rules
sense.
are stupid. Yeah, definitely. It's yeah. I'm just sick of it, to be honest. I feel like I was watching. You mentioned City Liverpool, the fixture, how good it is. The other day on Sky, there was a replay of 17-18 at Anfield.
Oh,
Just
with the
what?
4-1.
Yeah, what a game
Yeah,
of football that is, and that's before the days of VAR. You know, those are the sort of years that I look back on with the most sort of rose tinted glasses. Watching the Premier League, that sort of era from I don't know 2013, 14 to before VAR came in. Like it's just so honestly like that yeah, that's proper football in my eyes. And I just think about it now, like even the way they were playing football, watching, I know obviously the second half was very, very good, but watching that first half, it just felt like I was thinking about the 17-18 game and thinking like, oh wow, football, man. What's there
it's
has
it's
been
it's,
there has been a drop off.
yeah, it really has. And like I felt like people, you could say it's like nostalgia from like the era we just grew up in. Everyone probably thinks that their era is the best, but like it's just so much worse now. Like I
Mm,
feel bad for people that are growing up now getting into football. There'll be Arsenal fans out there who think corners are the best thing in the world, and that is like that's sad. Like it's not. Football is so amazing when it's played well, and it's
yeah.
just not being played well as much these days. It's a shame, but
It seems to be better in the Champions League. Like for me, there's so many times where I watch Chelsea and be quite frustrated because it's similar with, you know, a lot when you're a team that's better than the majority of the teams in the league,
yeah,
you sort of there's an obsession right now of playing with control. You know, we're very slow, you know, building up and stuff like that, and then the way to counter that is a low block, and that's been quite successful against us. So you'll watch a game domestically, a team will play a low block against us, and it will just be so frustrating. We'll just be whipping in. Pedro Neto will be whipping in crosses and hitting the first man 55 times in a game. It will just be so slow and predictable. And then you go to, for me, I think of the Chelsea Barcelona game, like what a game of football that was. And there's just in Europe, it seems like Arsenal as well. I know there's been games in the Premier League, like obviously they beat like Leeds pretty heavily uh, the other week and Sunderland pretty heavily this week. But there's games like they look so much better in the Champions League than they do in the Premier League. Like they look so slow and boring and dull in the Premier League. They'll play in the Europe and they'll look like it's the team that they can be, because the reality is Arsenal probably are. You know, they finished top. They're probably the best team in the world right now in terms of, I don't know, squad. I think they probably are, but they don't always play like that in the Premier League.
I'm not gonna say it, but I am gonna agree. But I think maybe it's just because like you think of Tottenham. Tottenham came fourth in the Champions League
Mm,
in the league phase. Like and you know, watch all the games. We did look good in probably 6 out of the 8. I think we looked good. Even when we lost to PSG, we lost 5-3, but we gave it a real good go. Like we were good.
yeah.
You know, we comfortably beat Dortmund. We comfortably beat Frankfurt. We comfortably beat Copenhagen. Like these, you know, but like if those teams were in the Premier League, you know, if replace those teams with Burnley, Wolves, and West Ham, Tottenham would lose. And it's really random. I think European teams just try and enjoy football. I think the Premier League is so hell bent on just getting like a point and like you know a scrappy 0-0. If you're a team like Wolves, you'd rather come away with a 0-0 than
Mm,
go at it and lose like 6-5. So
yeah.
it's just the way football's going. Sadly, we can always reminisce about the good times.
Yes, we can. And I think that's probably a good place to leave it. We've been rambling on about it for quite a while now. So yeah, we've already talked about cricket, talked about football.
Yeah.
We did briefly mention the Six Nations. They've obviously started now. England getting off to a pretty good start. Wales, I mean, nobody loves seeing Wales lose more than me. But at the same time, it's almost quite feel almost sorry for them. They're just rubbish.
It is, yeah. It's very sad. You think, as someone who's grown up around rugby, Wales are like they were the team growing up. They were like they had the best players. They often won the Six Nations. They were really really good. And now, even off the pitch, the Wales Rugby Union is just a complete mess.
Mm,
They're discussing whether to fold one of their clubs. So there's 4 clubs in Wales that play at the top level, and they're thinking about folding one of them, Ospreys, which is
Yeah.
like one of the most prestigious clubs in Wales. The fact that they're seriously considering about just getting rid of it is like terrifying. Really, it's awful.
Yeah.
And the whole the quality of the squad is nowhere like they've had their golden like generation, but yeah, the quality of the squad now is terrible. There's a few names that are still sticking around, but for the most part, it's not good. It was the first Six Nations game with their new head coach Steve Tandy, and it was really bad. The amount of penalties they gave away was for people who don't watch rugby often. You might think that's normal. It was not normal. There was so many penalties in the first
Yeah.
like 20 minutes. They'd given away 9 penalties. Like
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
that's ridiculous for a international rugby match. I don't care how good your international team is. That is terrible. I think England probably gave away 9 in the whole match. Like
Mm.
it was really really bad. But England were good. They weren't amazing. They didn't have to be amazing though. I think that's
Well,
a
yeah,
key thing to
exactly.
point
Yeah.
out. They were good in parts. George Ford, the fly half, was really good. He could go really well. Um, Henry Arundel got a hat trick on the wing. Again, didn't really do a lot, but he just got past the ball 3 times and scored. So
Yeah.
it did his job. And they did that without Mara Itoje, the captain, was on the bench, and they didn't even need to play it. He came on, got a yellow card
Got
after
submitted
15
immediately.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it was stupid. I saw him. Like, I was just like, what are you doing? But yeah, I think England. It was a nice game to start. Home at Twickenham against Wales, the worst team in the Six Nations by a long way right now. Um, I think it will come down to the last week. England play France in Paris, and I
Yeah.
think that will be the decider. I
It
think
could
because
be pure cinema.
I think it will. The France Ireland games kick off the Six Nations. I was disappointed in Ireland. They weren't. I mean, not disappointed. I don't care about Ireland, but I was. They were um, not as good as I was expecting to be. I was expecting a closer game. France were incredible as
Mm.
they often are. Dupont is the best player in the world. They've got the quickest winger I've ever seen. It's just France are looking hard to beat. Ireland, on the other hand, weirdly, Ireland are ahead of France in the world rankings for this week. So that was a bit,
Mm.
bit. I don't know how that's happened, but Ireland kind of similar to Wales. They've had their golden generation. They've kind of they're just coming out the other side of it now.
Yeah.
Their new fly half, Sam Prendergast, I don't think he's very good at all. He's very highly rated in Ireland, but every time I've seen him play in the Six Nations, I think he looks so out of his depth. He's so that could be just because of a lack of experience, or he's just nervous, or whatever it is. But I don't think a fly half. The number 10 in rugby needs to control the game. It's like the midfielder in football. You need to be in control of absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You're that part of the team, and he looked nervous. He didn't look good at all. But Ireland, they could do better. And then the other game, Italy Scotland, was one of the wettest rugby matches I have ever seen. Who knew it could rain that much in Rome?
Well, yeah.
And I don't think Italy have ever seen that much rain.
They didn't even know what it was. I thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah, who knew what was going on? It wasn't the highest quality match because of the weather, but Italy, Scotland were poor. Scotland, they've got a better squad than Italy, but Italy just wanted it more, I think, which is
Yeah.
something that the Italian teams have done a lot over the years. They've always had the worst quality squad, but they've always managed to get scrappy results because they just care that much. People go into play in Italy expecting to win, and that's really dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, I think
Especially
there's a lot about Italy just in general, not just in rugby, and you see it with how passionate some of their football fans are, how passionate Ferrari fans are. There's just a whole sort of culture in Italy of passion, and I think that's lovely to see, and it creates moments like that.
It's really good. Yeah, Italy. I think obviously to beat Scotland, I think they'll comfortably beat Wales because Wales are by far the worst team in the Six Nations right now. And you talk about passion, so like the Wales captain now, the Wales captain who used to be a man called Alan Wynne-Jones, who's one of the best players in his position ever. He was absolutely incredible. He played into like his late 30s. Which is unheard of really for rugby.
Yeah,
he was really really good. And he was always the captain for Wales. Every time he sang the national anthem, he was crying his eyes out like a baby. He was so passionate every time he sang that national anthem. And it sounds silly, but that obviously it must have meant something more to him and to his team. If you see your captain, literally crying with passion before a game, you're going to want to try that extra bit harder.
Well, yeah,
I know
definitely.
it sounds silly, just like, you don't obviously, you don't have to cry listening to your national. I didn't cry listening to the English national anthem, but um, it's just, yeah, I think seeing passion helps in a long way, and I don't think Wales had much passion at all. And the fans, travelled to Twickenham. England Wales is a huge game of rugby, and it was never a contest for the first minute. So I do, in a sense, feel bad for the Wales fans, but oh well.
Yeah, well, sticking to your talk about crying and national anthems, that is something that happens a lot in the Super Bowl, which obviously took place yesterday. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people, maybe laugh at that, especially with the current state of America. But I almost look at that and I think it's nice that they care that much. That I'm not as patriotic as that. I would never cry hearing the English national anthem or British national anthem even, and yeah, I think I see that, and I think it's. I understand, obviously, like with the Super Bowl as well. It's the. I don't think it's just the national anthem. I think it's the realization of, whoa, I'm playing in the Super Bowl. But yeah, obviously, yeah, Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. I really didn't mind that much. I probably would have rather the Seahawks won, and obviously they did.
Yeah.
Because I just think the story of Sam Darnold, how I think the NFL is guilty of making their mind up on people, or they are so they change their opinions on players so much, and they make their mind up very early. And Sam Darnold was a prime example of that. Got drafted by the New York Jets, and had a rough few years there. Went to the Panthers. Bad few years there. Went to the 49ers, backed up Brock Purdy, and then obviously got his chance last year with the Vikings, and now this year at Seattle. I think the moral of the story is if the Jets draft you, don't go there, because they seem to be killing quarterbacks left, right, and center. But here's one that survived and ended up on the winning end of a Super Bowl yesterday.
Yeah, but I think it's like you say, it's kind of like a realization of a childhood dream. Like if you play pro American football, the pinnacle is the Super Bowl. You want to be the so probably the fact that you're there, you're hearing national, everyone, America. Like I'm with you. I would never cry hearing the British national anthem.
Yeah.
I don't care that much. But I think, yeah, like you said, the realization of a dream, I think, is probably what gets people. And I think I've heard a lot of people say I didn't watch the Super Bowl last night. I've watched the last like 3 or 4 years before this year. I've watched it. I've stayed up and watched it. I didn't do it last night. Sorry.
Mm.
I've heard people say it was the worst Super Bowl in a long, long time. Was it that bad?
Well, I think if you're watching it for offensive reasons, then you could say that. But I think the way that I look at it is it was two defenses that played unbelievably well, and I think that's an aspect that NFL is the NFL is split into almost two sports, where it's an offensive sport and it's a defensive sport, and I think I can appreciate that a lot. I think maybe in a Super Bowl you want to be seeing touchdowns, and there weren't really many touchdowns at all. And yeah, I mean, it was sort of both defenses were playing really well, and the offenses couldn't really capitalize on that, like the way like the Patriots just never really got going. And I feel like there was aspects of that which was quite similar to last year's Super Bowl, where it was you had an offense in the Chiefs getting completely shut out by the Eagles defense, but rather than last year, the Eagles were capitalizing on it. They were getting touchdowns. They were really punishing them for it. But in this, it was mainly just getting a few field goals, and obviously weren't really punishing them for it. But in the end, I think if you're watching it to see loads of touchdowns, you could say it's the worst. But I think it was good in its own way, because you can really see how good some defensive players in the NFL can be.
Very good. That's a good assessment.
Yes, indeed.
Quickly, because as I said, I don't know much about the NFL. Is like I feel like this was quite a shock Super Bowl, the Seahawks and the Patriots. I feel like no one really predicted them to be in the Super Bowl, if you like, at the start of the year. Are these two teams now like almost set up for a couple of years of challenging, or do you reckon next year it will go back to like the Chiefs, the Eagles, people who were good in the last few years?
Yeah, well, it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously, I mean, you look and there were no Chiefs the Eagles weren't up to standard this year. The Bills weren't. The Ravens missed out on the playoffs as well. So that it was a really weird year in terms of it was very competitive and a lot of the big teams missed out. I think with the Chiefs, I wouldn't be. It feels almost like an end in a way. Obviously, they've got Patrick Mahomes and he's unbelievably good, so they can still work things out. But the likes of Travis Kelce, I wouldn't be at all shocked if he retires. So I feel like it feels like the end of an era almost for them a little bit. I'm a very casual fan, so I could be wrong. Yeah, I think look, the Seahawks had a good record. I think they were the better team out of the two going into it. Everyone says the Patriots had a fairly easy record, which is true, but I don't really know where they'll be next year. I think will we see the likes of the Eagles come back? Probably. I think. I don't know. That's the beauty of the NFL with the way that it works. Yeah. It changes so frequently, and you're able to see moments like yesterday when we had two teams who maybe nobody would have predicted being there in the Super Bowl, and so who knows how it's going to go next year.
It's a good thing about American sports, the same as like the NBA, is that there's quite a lot of turnover when like it's rare. Every now and then you get a dynasty. Obviously, you get one team always near the top, but yeah, it's with the way like the draft system works. It's really good that there's lots of different teams always competing at the top.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. There could be two completely different teams that no one's talked about this year in the NFL making the Super Bowl next year. So
yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. Right then. So, do you want to quickly talk about darts, and then we can finish on F1, I suppose?
I shall talk about darts. So, since the last time we did one of these, it's been the World Masters. I was there, as I'm sure, as you said, you saw.
Yep.
Yeah, it was first major of the year, and to no one's surprise, Luke Littler won. He beat Luke. To be fair, he was lucky to still be in the first round. Mike De Decker missed a dart to knock him out. Going Price missed a dart to knock him out in the semis. So it's not like it wasn't easy for him, and he only won 6-5 in the final against Humphrey. So
yeah,
it was like he just played better. He was having I watched him in the quarterfinals live, and he didn't even get out of like second gear, and he was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he beats Humphreys. He's now got 11 major titles, which is the third most ever.
Yeah, that is mental. Yeah,
absolutely mental. He's won all but one of the major tournaments. He's only not won the European Championship, which he even said after he won the Masters in his interview. He said, "I'm looking forward to the European Championship in October. I'm going to win that." So he's forgotten about these next 8 months.
Yeah,
he's like, "I'm just focusing on winning that." So yeah, if he does that, he'll complete darts as a teenager, which is
that is crazy. Yeah.
Again, I feel like I've said it before. People like to give him stick, but he is just the best. Like there's like when I was there in Milton Keynes on the Sunday when he did his walkout, people booed him, and then as soon as he gets on stage, they're all loving it because he is the best.
Yeah.
But I don't get why people have such a hatred for him. He can't help being amazing.
Well, I've got a quote from Christian Horner. The quickest way to become hated is to start winning.
Thank you, Christian Horner. You interesting man. It's a good quote though. It's a good quote. He is right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the darts. Well, it's going on. The Pro Tour starts today, so the first like event where all the players are getting, but not a major. It's just a behind closed doors, not on TV event. Start. It's happening right now. I don't know what's going on because I've not looked, but it started at 12 o'clock. So see how that goes.
Yeah.
If Littler wins that, I wouldn't be surprised. But these are the kind of events where, because how these events work, the draws are completely random for every round. So it's a bit like the FA Cup.
Right.
They just do a completely random draw. So Littler could play Humphreys in the first round, or he could play some bloke who's just like averaging 80.
Yeah.
So it really is random. And there's obviously not as much money involved as well. So it's not like the best players don't tend to put that much effort into these events. So it does make it quite interesting. But yeah, so if Littler wins this, I wouldn't be surprised. But the next major tournament is the UK Open, which is known as the FA Cup of Darts.
Yeah.
So that's Littler's the reigning champ, obviously. And it's so I predict I did a video on the account predicting all the major winners of this year. I think I gave Littler 3 or 4 of the 11 major tournaments, and people were so I had some comments like, "You're just living in denial. Littler's going to win all of them." If he does win all of them, does that then become? I think that might become an issue then with darts, because people say it's a problem that he's winning so much. I don't think that yet, but if he keeps winning every single big tournament, for people who don't watch darts all year round, they only watch the ones on TV. If you're only seeing Littler winning, you're not gonna want to tune in more. If that makes sense, like people who watch it all year round, like myself, know that he doesn't win everything. He just wins a lot of the big tournaments, which was what the best people do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to see him losing a game, really, which is the scary thing. But in saying that, he did lose in the Premier League to Jan van Veen on the first week of the Premier League. That's the format of the Premier League is it's only first to 6 legs, so it's very quick, and you can go and get Littler, which is the longer the games are, the less likely you're going to beat him, because he'll get better as it goes on. He's quite a slow starter, but the longer the games, he just gets more confidence. So I think the Premier League is where you can beat him, but like in major fight, he's never lost a major semi-final. That's that. I think he's been in how much? I think he's been in 16, maybe, off the top of my head.
That's crazy.
To have a 100% record in that.
Yeah, it's mental.
Going back to it, he is a teenager. He is not like, he's not some 30-year-old who's hit his prime. Like Luke Humphries started at the bottom of darts, made his way up gradually over time. For a long time, he was kind of thought of like, he's not really going to take that next step. He's just he's plateaued.
Yeah.
He was world number like 8 or 9 for a couple of years, and then he suddenly won. He won the World Grand Prix and started winning everything. Littler did it straight away.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
I think Phil Taylor, Phil Taylor's the GOAT of darts. He said he doesn't think Littler will be around long enough really to break his records, because he's probably just going to retire when he's younger, because the money is so amazing. Like Littler, on his ranking right now, he's got about £2.8 million from just ranking money, and he's also got hundreds of thousands more that he's made in the last few years as well. Does he unless he really loves it? Because there's quite a few. It's weird. There's quite a few darts players who don't particularly love it. They're just a bit like Ben White in football. They just kind of do it because they're good at it.
They're just good at it. Yeah. Like
Littler is the best at it, but I'm sure he has other things he wants to do. He's so young that he probably wants to do other things in the future as well.
Yeah.
He could in 10 years' time he could be retired. And then we've got some other new kid who's come through and starts winning everything.
It's a nice luxury to have, though. When you're so good at something where you just got so many options. But yeah.
But yeah, darts. It's been a good start to the darting season. So the Premier League's underway now. Every Thursday night, Premier League for the next 16 weeks. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Pro Tour started today. Yeah, good to even though Littler is winning, I'm still enjoying it. So
well, yeah, and I'm sure you can find all of the darts coverage over on Sam2 Darts, another account that's doing really well. Thanks to the man sat across from me on your screen. So yeah,
I think that's darts done.
Okay, cool. Right, only one thing left to talk about then, and that is Formula One. Now we're back on track this week. We are back on track, and this time. There was obviously the Barcelona shakedown. We can actually see it. It's on TV for 1 hour a day, which is still slightly strange. And obviously next week after that, we've got it full access, which I love it. The way that it works is I've actually got some of the days off from work for it because I love it that much. And just sitting in front of the TV from 7 a.m. onwards watching it. But yeah, back on track this week. By the time this is out, we'll have already had the first day. Obviously, Williams are going to be there this time. I'm hoping I really want Williams to be good. I love Williams. I love James Vowles. We know this by now. But I really want them to be good. It's so exciting because new regs, obviously, there's a bit of a suspicion that the Mercedes engine is quite good. There's expectations that maybe Mercedes themselves will be very good, but at the end of the day, it's still fairly unknown. It's going to be so exciting. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I'm excited to see Audi and Cadillac more than anyone. I think.
Well, yeah,
just
definitely.
Because it's such an unknown. They could, it's a long shot, but they could easily be up there, or they could be really far behind at the back. It really is an unknown. The Cadillac livery was announced. What was it? During the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. Yep. During the Super Bowl. Yep.
I quite like it. Weirdly, I don't know why. I think because it's it's asymmetric, isn't it? It's different on both sides. I think it kind of works. I saw.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy and Matt from P1 Podcast. They said it's two very boring liveries that makes quite a nice one.
Well, yeah, that's a good take actually. Yeah, I quite like it.
I think it's simple. It's clean. Yeah, not a lot going on.
Not bad first. I think it's better than. I don't really. I know you made a video. I don't really like the Audi one that much personally. I think it's very similar to the concept car they announced. I think it's not bad, but it could have been way better. I don't really like the red bit on the. I don't know. I'm not a massive fan. So I probably rank this above the Audi, but I mean, you mentioned you can't wait to see them two teams. I mean, yeah, I think it'd be really nice if at least one of them could be up there. I'm sort of naturally rooting for Sergio Perez this season, because when he was at Red Bull, my brother was just very anti Sergio Perez. And I'm just thinking, obviously this season's proven, or last season, sorry, has proven that, maybe he wasn't the biggest problem, seeing how much, Lawson and Tsunoda struggled. So I'm really rooting for him to come back and be amazing. Be like the 2020 Sergio Perez that we saw, and like the old Sergio Perez, so I can sort of just say to my brother, you were wrong. There is a good driver there.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely a good driver there. Sergio Perez is, very, very good. He was the king of the midfield for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Force India and Racing Point and whatever else they were called back in the day. But yeah, I think Cadillac. It's compared to the last new team to come into Formula Haas back in 10 years ago now, and they were instantly kind of midfield straight away. I think everyone expected them to be a little bit further back, but Romain Grosjean came P6 in Australia in their first race, and then P5 the week after in Bahrain. Everyone was like, "What have they built? This is mental." With the caliber of driver they've got with Perez and Bottas, I don't see why they can't get points early on if they've got a good if their car is all right.
Yeah,
they could get points early on. I hope it's not convincingly the worst car, if that makes sense. I don't want there to be. It's been a long time in Formula One since we've had a proper It was probably Williams. Oh no, actually Haas 2021 with Mazepin and Schumacher. That was probably the last time where there was a car that was so much worse than everyone else's.
Yeah,
and it's. I don't think that's. I don't think it's good for the sport. I like that it's all so close. I like that we can.
Definitely, definitely.
A whole grid separated by a second, and I think that's. Yeah, I want that to continue. To be fair, with the new regulations, it might not. But
there is always a feel with new regs where, we had it. 2021 was unbelievable season in terms of right at the top, and then this last season, everything's so close, brilliant title fight, and it always feels like the new regs sort of reset everything, and there's one team that gets it really spot on, and other teams are playing catch up. So you just hope that it can be a little bit closer from the start of these regulations this year.
It's the last time we had massive regulations was 2014, and Mercedes just smashed it and was so much better than everyone else. But sounds like they could have done that again. So we shall see. What is it? March? Is it March 6th?
March 6th is the first race. Yes, it is, and I can't wait to be waking up at 4 a.m.
Exactly. I will be up too. Very exciting.
Yeah. Woo.
Well, yeah. I think on that note, I think that's this episode done. Is this our 10th episode, by the way?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's 9 or 10. Anyway, good to be back. I've missed doing this a lot.
Yep, it is good to be back.
Yeah. thank you, Dad, for listening. I hope you're enjoying your drive home. Thank you to anyone else who's listening as well.
Yeah.
Please do follow. Spotify, YouTube, all the accounts on TikTok. Sam Squared Cricket, Sam Squared Darts, Sam Squared Footy, Sam Squared F1. Please do give it a follow if you're interested. We appreciate all your support, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye bye.